Okay, hello. Now today's topic of discussion is position vector and displacement. Now see, we shall use the concept of vector for displacement first of all in our physics. Okay, now try to understand this is xy plane. Say for example, this is the xy plane. Okay, here origin and the point somewhere is here, and that point is P, and the particle is situated here. Now if this particle moves on this curved path and it reaches here after some time, say at a point P prime. Now first of all, this vector which is with respect to the origin O, that shows the position vector of P with respect to O, and that is denoted by R. Now after some time, say delta t, the particle has reached here at this P prime, then the position vector of this P prime is R prime. Then this curved path shows the path length. But if you join the initial to final point and you join this and make an arrow towards the final position, then that will give you the displacement, and this vector gives you the displacement. That is final position minus initial position. So it becomes vector r prime minus r, and this will give you the change in position, which is nothing but the displacement. So displacement can be calculated or rather drawn by joining the initial point to the final point, and final position minus initial position gives you displacement. So it becomes r prime minus r, and that becomes delta r. Okay, now we talk about the velocity. Now see, velocity is nothing but displacement upon time taken. Now as you know that displacement is, now we have calculated, that is delta r. Now if you want to find the average velocity, that is also a vector quantity, average velocity. Average velocity denoted by v with a vector on it, that is equal to change in position, that is delta r upon delta t. Okay, so this will give you the formula for average velocity. Okay, now we again move further for our vector analysis and for the understanding how the displacement takes place. Now say for example, the particle is here initially at point P, having position vector r. Now it has reached here by traversing this curved path. It has reached here. This is the final position, and final position vector is r prime. Now this becomes the displacement, and that becomes delta r. Now try to understand, whenever the particle is here at point P, then it must have two coordinates, and the vector r can be written as x I cap plus y j cap. Similarly, final position vector r prime can be written as x prime I cap plus y prime j cap. Okay, so if you take the final position minus initial position, then it becomes r prime minus r, and that will be the difference of x coordinate, that is x prime minus x into I cap plus y prime minus y into j cap. So we can write this displacement delta r as change in x coordinate, that is delta x. If I write instead of x prime minus x, delta x I cap plus it becomes delta y j cap. Okay, so this will be the change in position, or rather change in x coordinate, that is delta x I cap plus delta y j cap. This way you can write. Okay, now we have this formula of velocity. Say velocity is average velocity. Average velocity is change in position, that is delta r upon delta t. Okay, so instead of this delta r we can write delta x I cap plus delta y j cap upon delta t. So you can easily write delta x upon delta t I cap plus delta y upon delta t j cap. Okay, now if you take this delta t, or rather we can say this delta x upon delta t is nothing but change in x coordinate divided by time interval. Delta y upon delta t is change in y coordinate divided by time interval. So we can write this as vx I cap plus vy j cap. Here vx and vi is showing the x and y component of velocity. Okay, now in this particular equation, that is the equation number 1, if you take delta t tends to 0, if you take limit delta t tends to 0 as we have understood, then this average velocity will be converted or will be taken as instantaneous velocity. So we can write instantaneous velocity, that is v is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, it becomes delta r upon delta t. So this can be symbolized as dr by dt. So rate of change of position, or we can say time rate of change of position, gives you the instantaneous velocity. Okay, and as we have understood earlier also, that if the particle is moving on say this kind of curved path, and if it is moving from this position say p to some final position say p prime, whose position vector is r prime, initial position vector is r, then this is the direction of the change in position, or we can say this becomes delta r. Now the direction of velocity will be always in the direction of change in position, so the velocity will also have the same direction as that of the change in position. So this will be the direction of velocity. Now if you go on taking this r prime, or we can say this p prime close to this p, or we can say we take 2 points very close, we take 2 points on this curve very close to each other, then the direction of velocity will be tangential to the curve. That we have understood earlier also, that whenever there is a curve path, then the direction of velocity is taken tangential to that curve, or tangential to that particular point where you are finding the velocity, and that is nothing but instantaneous velocity. Say for example, if you are having this kind of curve, then if you want to find the velocity somewhere here, then just at this particular moment of time if you want to find, then the velocity will be tangential to the curve. Okay, now we can easily understand that as we have delta r, that is change in position is nothing but delta x by delta t, delta x I cap, it is not delta t, is the rate of change here delta x, we can write delta r. Delta r is delta x I cap plus delta y j cap. Now if you divide this by delta t and time interval is taken very small, then we can have this delta r by delta t is equal to delta x by delta t I cap plus delta y upon delta t j cap. So this gives you average velocity, that is time, that is nothing but the change in position upon time interval. So change in x coordinate upon time interval, change in y coordinate upon time interval. Now if you take limit delta t tends to 0, then this becomes instantaneous velocity. So instantaneous velocity can be v is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, then this becomes delta x by delta t I cap plus limit delta t tends to 0, it becomes delta y upon delta t j cap. So this becomes delta x by delta t I cap is nothing but dx by dt. So we can write it easily, instantaneous velocity is equal to dx by dt I cap plus dy by dt j cap, and this becomes the dx by dt is the x component of instantaneous velocity, so it can be vx I cap plus vy j cap. So this will be the equation of instantaneous velocity. Now if you want to find the magnitude, then magnitude is nothing but the square of x component plus square of y component. So it becomes vx square plus vy square. And if you want to find the direction, then we write tan theta. Tan theta is vy upon vx. So you are getting the direction of resultant vector with respect to x axis. Okay. Now we understood this part of instantaneous velocity. Now we talk about the acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but the change in velocity per unit time, or rate of change of velocity, that is also defined as acceleration. Now acceleration, say average acceleration you want to find, then we will have, first of all we have the velocity that is given by vx I cap plus vy j cap. This is the equation of velocity. Now there will be a change in velocity, so we write delta v upon delta t. So rate of change of velocity, that is delta v upon delta t. So we can write delta vx I cap plus delta vy j cap upon delta t. So it will become delta vx upon delta t. We can write this way also. It becomes delta vx upon delta t I cap plus delta vy upon delta t j cap. So this becomes the change in velocity in x direction, this becomes the change in velocity in y direction, and this can be taken as x component of acceleration because it is change in velocity per unit time or with respect to time, that is in x direction, that is why it is taken as ax I cap, and this is nothing but ay j cap. So this is the equation of average acceleration. Now if this time interval is taken tends to infinity, so if limit delta t tends to infinity, then this becomes the instantaneous acceleration. Limit delta t tends to 0, delta vx upon delta t I cap plus limit delta t tends to 0 delta Vy upon delta t j cap. So this becomes dVx by dt I cap plus dVy by dt j cap. So this becomes the x component of acceleration and this becomes the y component of instantaneous acceleration. This can be written again as ax I cap plus ay j cap. So this becomes the instantaneous acceleration where ax is nothing but it is dvx by dt, rate of change of velocity in x direction, and ay is dvy by dt, that is rate of change of velocity in y direction. And the direction of velocity will, rather we can say acceleration is in the direction of change in velocity. Okay, so if you have this say graph in which the object is moving in this particular way, that is it is going from this point say P to this point say P prime. So initially its direction of velocity was like this, tangential. Now it has become this way, tangential. So now if you take these two vectors, one is in this direction, the other one is in this direction, final velocity, and this becomes the initial velocity. Now change in velocity we want to find, so you join the head and draw the vector direction towards v prime, because we want to find out v prime minus v. If you want to find v prime minus v, then you have to draw the arrow in the direction of v prime. So the arrow is in this direction, so delta v is in this particular direction, we can say. Okay. Similarly, there are different ways by which you can find the direction of velocity easily. Okay. If you have same graph, say for example if you draw it again, okay, then the graph, okay, this vector is taken close, slightly close here somewhere, okay, then also you can find the direction of the, here it will be in this particular direction. So you draw it like this, then this is your first vector. First vector is in slanted direction, so we draw it like this slightly, and the final velocity vector is in this direction. So this becomes v prime and this becomes v. Okay, so draw this heads or join these heads and draw the arrow towards v prime, because we want to find out v prime minus v. So again this will be the direction of change in velocity and that will be the direction of acceleration. So by using this we can find the direction of velocity by a graphical direction of rather acceleration by the graphical method. Okay, thank you very much.